Hello, my name is Vinson Pierce and I work for the Vermont Council on World Affairs, and we are honored to be hosting 10 fellows through the U.S. Department of State's Young Leaders of the Americas initiative. YLI has brought in 250 fellows from Central and South America and the Caribbean to 24 different communities around the country, and Burlington is honored to be hosting 10 of those fellows. And today I'm joined by 3 of our fellows in the studio, and I'm excited to introduce you to them. So with me today I have Miss Veronica Matienzo from Bolivia, Mr. Jorge Caballero from Mexico, and Miss Tatiana Martinez from Colombia. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.
So to start off, I'd like for you to just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. You know, have you ever been to the United States before, and a little bit about you.
Great. My name is Veronica Matienzo, and I'm from Santa Cruz, Bolivia. I've been to the United States before. I lived in Texas for a year, like a long time ago, 10 years ago, and really excited to be here again.
Great.
Hello, my name is Jorge Caballero. I'm from the beautiful country of Mexico. I live in the north of Mexico, in the border with Texas. I know Texas. Texas is a great state. I know the city of Brownsville, Houston, McAllen.
Great.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, my name is Tatiana Martinez. I'm from Colombia, and I've been sometimes at the U.S. I had the opportunity to be like around the innovation and entrepreneur activities. So like this time, I'm honored to be here again and happy.
Great. Well, we're so glad to have you. So as I mentioned, you're part of a larger group of 10 fellows that are here in Burlington, along with Bolivia, Mexico, and Colombia. We also have fellows from Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, and Guatemala. And each of you are entrepreneurs in a really diverse number of businesses, and I was hoping you might be able to tell us a little bit about your business and why you're here in Burlington.
Okay, my business name is Suenzo. We make leather goods, high quality goods, like purses and wallets and bags, and all of that made in Bolivia. We're proud to say that we use our own materials, fabrics, everything's made in Bolivia, and also the handwork is made in Bolivia.
Great.
So that's what we do.
I am a programmer, and also I am a writer. I have developed a studio we make apps, we make books, but that kind of books. The reader can take decisions in the story and change the ending and reach multiple endings. We have many apps, and we already have almost 200,000 downloads in the 5 continents, with many positive comments about our project, our brand. The brand is Live in a Book, like that, Live in a Book. You can download these apps, these books, from Google Play, from App Store, in your smartphone, in your tablet, in your iPad. We are promoting reading because reading is very important. The lack of reading affects the culture, the education, the common sense of every country.
Great.
So I'm part of the natural conservation area Los Chagualos, and we have been working around conservation since 2009. And like now, what we are working on, it's on sustainable production. So mainly we change our way of producing and make it like more environmentally friendly. And we are spreading like the word and really create a strong community so we can like fight against global warming and like all the changes we are facing nowadays.
Great. So they're all very interesting topics, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So I guess the next question that a lot of people will likely have is kind of why did you decide to start your business, and what impacts is your business having in your home communities? And while you're talking, we have some photos and videos that might be interesting for people to watch as they learn a little more about what you're doing.
Okay. My country is a small country in South America, and Bolivians, like, we're not mainly producers of things, we're consumers instead. And I wanted to put my little grain of sand in like creating Bolivian products. And we have great materials and leathers, and our artisans make great work. So, and I like fashion and I like purses. So I kind of put all those things together and made this Suenzo brand. For example, that is one of our best sellers. We use leather, and we have a variety of products. We make wallets, we make purses, we make suitcases, and we have had great acceptance of our clients.
Great. And you design all these products?
Yeah, I design them and work with artisans to make like a good product.
How many artisans do you work with?
Right now I have like a group of kind of 6 people working, but I really want to make a project like getting some more people involved.
Great.
And kind of change the perception we have of, about our artisans' work.
Sure, that's a great goal. And Jorge, so you've created an app that's almost a choose your own adventure, choose your own story.
Yeah.
What made you come up with this idea, and why do you think it's so important in your community and around the world?
Reading is so important. The kids are spending a lot of time on your smartphone and your computers. The graphic is something like that, but in reading, the graphic is something like that. We need to promote reading. We need to promote reading in a very attractive way for kids and for young people. And then I realized, how can I do the reading more attractive for the people? And then the idea is coming, and I get to work alone in my office, in my room, programming and creating this app. And then I have a team, but all start with an idea and with a dream. We also are looking for writers. We have writers from Argentina, from the United States, from Mexico, from Chile, from Colombia, but we are looking for writers. Maybe in Vermont, so many people want to write a book, and we can publish your book, but need to be that kind of book where the reader can take decisions in the story and with multiple endings.
So are these books for people of all ages?
Yeah. For kids and for young people, and we have science fiction stories, horror stories, and also fairy tales like Little Red Riding Hood, or like in the next month we will release Cinderella with multiple ending, and the kids love it.
Great. That sounds great. I'll have to download a few
Oh,
stories.
please.
And Tatiana, you work for a nature reserve in Colombia. Tell us a little bit about that and why it was founded.
Well, like, this is quite a long story. So actually, like, it's a family project, and it started like a lot of years ago. We've always been agricultures, and like for some times we had to leave our area because of some conflicts of my country. But now with all the process we have been facing, so we were able to come back. And in this moment we arrived, we saw like all the natural process that started in the area, and we say like, how are we going to continue doing traditional agriculture and like cutting all the trees and finishing like with this forest? Like, what else can we do? So in this moment we decided to declare the area as a natural conservation area. And we'd say, okay, so we will have this area just for conservation, but like we still need to do like some production to make our project sustainable. So this was the moment when we found different systems like silvopastoral systems, trees inside the fields to make a new way of raising cows and making like this dairy. And then we start like putting some other things, we said, okay, there is a situation with pollination, so there are like so many bees in the area. Like we start to hear that from our neighbors, so we say, okay, we'll start to do like some apiculture and start harvesting this honey, also like to make it sustainable, but to start like with all this biodiversity. And we start to find out a lot of species in the area, like a lot of kind of animals. And I think something that was like a key point in our process was the moment, like in the beginning of our project, they said there was a kind of bear that was not anymore in the area because of the loss of the forest. And one day we were just arriving to our house and this kind of bear was like climbing a tree. So we said like, okay, it's really a victory, like we did it. Like all these kind of animals are just returning because of all the process we have been making and all, like also with our community. I mean, like some of the people that are next to us have been joining to the things we do, and it's really nice for us. So like if you see our logo, you will see like the main image, it's this kind of bird because it's like that thing that represents us.
So what are the challenges that each of you have faced in starting these diverse businesses? I know you're all from different countries, so I'm sure your experiences are a little different, but I'm sure you've also, like many entrepreneurs here in Burlington and around the country, have experienced similar problems and issues. And I'm curious if you could elaborate on some of those challenges.
One of the challenges that I'm facing right now is, like, as I said, Bolivian people kind of embrace what comes from outside and not our own products. So I want to make a change in that, in people's minds, so they know that our products can be better than products coming from outside. So that's like a big challenge that I have to get past on, and I will. That's one.
Right now, we are in a company in Vermont. Each one of us have a company about your product, about your kind of product, and for help us and to learn how to growing up or scale our company. This is a great challenge. This is we already reach thousands of people. We need to reach millions of people with our books. And this is a big challenge, but I'm so happy to do that.
I may say, like, when we started, our way of production was like a crazy thing. Like anyone will like it, everyone will be kind of against it, and I think like this was one of the biggest challenge we faced, as far as we have been proving people that it's a good way to do it, like it is sustainable, like economically speaking, and then it's like good for the environment. And like with these proofs we've shown, they have started to be convinced. So I think we have been like going forward and really like facing all these challenges we have had.
Have you found that you get a lot of support from people in your community about are they excited about your companies and the products you're creating? Is there a lot of people around the country and around your city that are kind of excited that you've started these programs?
The people of Vermont is so kind. it's great, the people of Burlington, of Vermont. Yeah.
I may say in my city, like they have been like, well, there are both sides. There are some ones that are super excited and are really willing to change like the things they do. There are also like in the academic area, people that want to start studying more about this and really like taking some data and like research information. And then like there are others that will always be kind of skeptic. But I think each time we're just like getting a place, and I feel a lot of support each time, like more support than before, so it's great.
So well, for me, well, people that buys our products, they always come back and buy something else, or they always recommend us, like to friends and family. So I think that we're having a great acceptance too with our products.
That's great. Well, you make great bags from what I've seen.
Yeah, thank you.
So as Jorge mentioned, you're each paired or kind of placed with different organizations and businesses around Burlington as a fellow, and you're kind of learning from your host and also contributing your experiences to kind of help them on various projects. But what do each of you hope to get out of this experience? You've applied, you've been accepted to the Young Leaders of America's initiative, which was a pretty, I think, that shows a lot about each of you and the products that you're creating and the businesses that you've developed. But what do you hope to take away from your time here in Vermont?
For me, I'm really glad to be here because United States is like an exporter, like fashion. You have a lot of fashion enterprises. So I want to learn how an American company works, how they do marketing, how they do products. Maybe I can have some new ideas. So for me, it's been already like really great to be here, and I'm gonna learn a lot.
Great.
Yeah, I need to learn many things, but maybe 4 things is the more important. The first one is I need to improve my product. I need to learn how to create the better experience, the better reading experience, to create books for kids. The great content. The content is the most important in my company, and I need to learn how to create emotional books for kids, emotional books for young people. The other thing maybe how the publishing company works, the workflow of a publishing company. Other thing is how to create a platform exclusive for kids, or a platform exclusive for young people, or a platform for audiobooks. We are working on develop audiobooks with the same kind of book with decisions when multiple ending, but in audio for blind people with voice recognition. We are working on that. And the other thing maybe, I already said, we are looking for writers and the good writers and audacious writers to write that kind of books.
I may say like what I expect is to find the way like here they have been working with the communities, like especially I work with the Center for Sustainable Agriculture of the University of Vermont, and like I would like to know further how they work in partnership with the university to make research, as far as we want to start doing like more research in our organization, and also how they have been managing the community projects, so people decide to change their way of production to a most sustainable one. And then like I'm really interested in all the experiments they have been developing, so like we can figure out if we should change the kind of grass or like the way we are doing our things. So that's pretty much it. And then like it's really nice to be here and see like this area is really sustainable and like nature friendly.
Great. Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. I know you've only been here for a week, or just under a week. What surprised you most about Burlington and about Vermont in your short time here? I'm sure none of you have been here before, but I imagine that you did a little research once you found out that you were going to be coming here for a month. So what are some things that kind of you were looking forward to or that have surprised you since you've arrived?
Well, I did some research before coming here, and I saw like there were like a lot of trees, but then I didn't imagine like it's so much more than what I saw in the pictures. So it's beautiful. I really like the nature here. Everywhere you go, there's lots of trees and the different leaves, colors of the leaves. So it's so much more than I expected. I really love it.
And so much pets, so much
many
dogs.
pets, yeah.
Oh,
Everyone has a
dogs
dog.
are everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say people are super friendly and like you really have a community that is worried about the area and like always doing different activities, always workshops or dinners or well, different stuff. So that creates really a dynamic in the city that makes you feel not just welcome, but like really engaging like in everything.
And you've also started playing Quidditch.
Yes. I just joined the university team.
That's great. So I think most people have heard of each of your countries. They're all fairly large and they play a role in the wider world, but people probably don't know very much about them, or some of the information that they've heard might not be what you want people to take away from your country. What is one thing about your country that you would like for people in Vermont to know? One interesting fact or part of your culture?
I would say that maybe we have great materials and great textiles. So a lot of artisans who make great things and different kind of colors in textiles. So that's one thing that we do good.
Mexico is a big country. It's a big, beautiful country with beautiful people. The people of Mexico is so fun, so kind.
Obviously.
Yeah. And we have a lot of things in Mexico. Nature, really good food. Do you love tacos? Do you want tacos?
Love tacos.
Oh, the best tacos is in Mexico.
Everyone loves
And the people of Mexico is growing up in the technology, in the culture, in the ecologies. We want to do big things. We want to prove in Mexico can do technology and big things, big things.
Well, I may say about Colombia that like we're not just coffee, like we are really amazing country. People are super like friendly and always welcoming everyone. And then like we have a lot of cultural activities according to each region. You will see like diversity of accents, music, food. So I think like if you go there, like you have to go everywhere, because otherwise you will not really picture out like how is it. And then we have talking about nature, a lot of biodiversity. So it's like butterflies, animals, different like high mountains. So you will feel like all kind of weather, and yeah, it's kind of extreme in each area, but it's great. Like I really hope everyone could come.
I would love to visit.
Please.
So I guess one final question before we leave. When you go back to your countries, and this is still You've just arrived here, so you still have a few weeks to kind of learn more about Burlington and Vermont in the United States. But what's one thing that you think you'll take away from this experience, whether professionally or just kind of personally? What do you think? What do you think you'll take back to your country?
I'm gonna learn so much more in the company that I'm matched with. So I'm gonna take a lot of that to my business, and also I'm gonna start planting more trees because I really like like having all this, be surrounded by all this nature in here. So that's one thing for me.
Yeah, the people of Vermont is very kind. Sorry about that, but one people of Vermont said me, "Oh, we are not Donald Trump. We like the people. We like the other countries. We like to learn about other cultures, and this is great. United States is a big country. The United States is a good country, and we want to share with my people in Mexico."
I may say, like, since I've been here and I've been talking with everyone, like also with some entrepreneurs, like groups inside the university and, well, people from my organization, I've learned that like you have to do things. Sometimes we just think too much about, oh, should I do this, should I do that? And then like you don't try it and finally you miss the opportunities, or finally like it is too late to do that you were thinking. So I will say like just to take like that idea and go forward. I'll say it.
Great. Well, I wish you all luck, and I'm excited to
Thank you.
continue getting to know you this month and probably visiting you in the future.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Please
thank you
come.
so much for joining us. You might see these folks around town in the next couple weeks if you're walking around. So I encourage you to say hello and engage them and show them, introduce them to Vermont and kind of welcome them with open arms. Thank you so much for joining us today. So long.